I'm on you. You know what's really funny? When I hear a funny joke.
Wait. Yeah.
As soon as we start the go live stream, the garbage truck comes by outside. I feel like
Perfect
that's really
timing.
appropriate, right?
Perfect timing. I love it. I love it.
My goodness, there's like no getting past it. Haha! Funny joke!
Jesh got jokes today.
I got jokes. I got jokes for days.
Yep.
I got nothing but jokes.
Dr. Proton has taken over my beanbag now,
Wonderful.
as expected.
Yeah, you got your new cat, and your new cat's doing well.
Yeah, he's doing quite well.
That's
His name
good.
was, he had another name. I changed it to Dr. Proton for my dad. My dad's a PhD, so Doctor comes from that. And he's a retired chemistry professor, so Proton comes from that, so Dr. Proton.
Oh, that's cute.
And,
you named your cat after your dad? That's so adorable. It's disgusting. Get the fuck out of here. Ew.
He taught me chemistry my whole life.
That's
well
lovely.
into the college also, when chemistry was an elective.
That's
And
cute.
Dr. Proton is 10 years old, and he's very healthy for a 10-year-old cat. And everybody was surprised at the shelter when they were like, "Oh, you want to adopt a 10-year-old cat?" I'm like, "Yeah." I had to convince...
Welcome back to DFF Friday. DFF Friday.
Okay.
You told me not
I
to
can talk
forget
about
the
them all.
intro this time.
I know. It's going to be fun.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Dumpfuck Friday. Lonnie's got a new cat and I need a new bra. What's going on? I hope everybody's having a good weekend.
Yeah, I also need a new bra, man.
Right?
New bra.
Oh god, the worst. Absolute trash. I have had a busy week, and I'm glad it's the weekend, except it's just as busy because guess what's tomorrow? The tavern. But yeah, what's that? What that?
So I got this from one of my colleagues because obviously I live remotely, so getting something delivered here for $3 is like doesn't make sense, right?
Ah, yes.
I got this and I did my measurements and finally I ordered my first set of bra from online shopping. So let's see how
Lovely.
it goes.
Oh, hopefully it goes well. Online shopping can be like a hit or a miss sometimes, so it's
Yeah.
like it's one of those things.
Yeah, I also wanted to like finally order the company clothing that we are allowed. I wanted to order the warm coat that we are afforded for free.
Yeah.
You know, the company coat, and it's really, really warm, I have been told, and I've been missing out on it for 3 years of my time with the company. Never bought it. Like every year we get allotted like $200, $250, New Zealand dollars, everyone, for company clothing, and we can order accordingly. But even if we go over the budget, there's not much there's not much like screaming or worrying about that. It is what it is, and there's like, you need it, you will get it.
Hello
So,
everybody,
some
welcome
years-
back. Sorry, you
Yeah.
were Devin.
Welcome back. No. I can keep talking. You know me. Everybody, welcome back to Dumpfuck Friday. Tesh is tired. Please be nice to her.
I'm very tired. I've had a busy 2 weeks. The conversation with Fuzz, Rana, and Dave was absolutely amazing though, so if you missed that one, definitely go check it out. It sounds like it's a highbrow conversation, but don't feel that way. It's very like accessible. Hello to Twitch. We are live on Twitch and YouTube. Welcome. Hello. Both chats will be available above either of our heads. There is currently a war going on between who is better, YouTube or Twitch, so you guys can hash that out amongst yourselves above once we switch on over. But we have some crazy stuff to go through today, and you should probably get started, right? Or unless you want to show us Dr. Proton. Can we see Dr. Proton? Puck's here. He's having a nap.
I could. He's having a nap too. He's sleeping.
They're
Maybe
sleeping.
You could share his picture. I sent you his picture, right? You could share his picture, couldn't you?
No, it's not the same. You got the first time we see Dr. Proton's got to be actually Dr. Proton. You don't need to wake him up though. He'll make an appearance eventually.
Yeah,
He'll make an appearance eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
Tom
He will come and talk to me.
did inform us yesterday while I was live that there's some stuff going on with Nick Rekieta, but we're gonna get to that. We're gonna start off with one other thing
Yeah,
first.
that was... Yeah, no, it wasn't unexpected. I was waiting for it to happen, actually.
Yeah, you had your nose was to the ground. You knew it was coming. Yeah. So if anybody's not familiar with Pirate Software does game development. They do lots of cool stuff. They're a lot of fun. They stream. They used to work for Blizzard. And this is related to Helldivers, and I just kind of wanted to share what he had to say because I think it sums it up pretty well, because we have been covering the Helldivers stuff a little bit just tertiarily, but I don't know if you guys remember, it might have been on a live stream that I said, we can't trust Sony. They're gonna do it again, and don't do anything until they actually put the change through. And here's what Pirate Software has to say about
Sony did a fast one on all of you. See this right here? What does this say? We've heard your feedback to the Helldivers 2 account linking update, May 6 update, that would have required Steam and PlayStation Network account linking for new players and for current players beginning May 30th will not be moving forward. They're saying it will not move forward, right? So they're removing the PSN requirement. And everyone's like, wow, we got victory. Well, guess what they did at the same time that they announced they were going to do PSN? They blocked the game from being purchased in all the regions that don't have PSN. Guess what they haven't removed yet? And it's been 3 days. And no, that's not on Steam. Because as a Steam developer, I put in that request to Steam, and they change it next day. Automatons won, dude. You got tricked. You got tricked by Sony, and you changed your review back to positive.
Seriously, Sony?
Sony did a fast one on all of you.
When a company says that they're changing something, do not believe it until the change actually happens and actually goes through. The same way with politics. You don't believe a politician until the change actually happens and comes through. Don't count your chickens before they hatch.
I'll just say, Anonymous, you minding this?
Monty out here calling for cyber terrorism. Excuse me, what? Surely not on this channel. We would never.
Not on the channel. No. On Sony. Sony have been brought to their knees once before for doing something similar. They have been by Anonymous, and they still haven't learned. What the fuck is wrong with Sony? And I was quite. I think so. We discussed it last time also, about the changes that Sony made, right? And I was like, oh, I'll check it if it's available in New Zealand. Yep. It's not, so, or I'm bad at searching, but I couldn't find it. I wonder why. In New Zealand, the consumer laws are quite strict. You just can't do shit.
Yeah.
Just out of willy-nilly. You have to jump through hoops. So that's good, I guess. But yeah, when I read that tweet a few days ago, I was like, yeah, there's something going on there. There's something that's happening. I don't believe they entirely, just accepted it and just backtracked. No way. No fucking way. And here we are. And thanks to his name is what? Smash? Is it? Silva?
For what?
His name? The guy's
Pirate
name?
Software?
Name?
Yeah, no, this is the compilation. No, this is Pirate Software. Yeah.
Gotcha. Pirates. Okay. Yeah, thanks to him, we're like, what the fuck? And Sony can't do shit about it because this guy's not under their domain. So, yeah. Sony, you baka? You Anonymous? Hello, sir, Anonymous? Please? Mind this, please.
Help us, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Your only hope. You need to save the Helldivers from themselves.
Yep.
Because, that's what it is, right? There's also an update real quick that we're probably going to talk about a little bit more on the tavern tomorrow. There's some minor updates with the gaming stuff going on, the litigation I've been talking about that they're trying to put forward to change the way gaming works and companies work. So the UK recently is calling for a vote, like an election. And so because of that,
finally,
any of the petitions for the UK on that topic and that subject are on hold. So, understandably so. So, if you're looking into that and you don't see it for the UK, please be patient. It will likely show up a little bit later. I did get in contact with Accursed Farms, and he said he's not able to do interviews right now for, like, a bunch of different reasons, but he is interested in, like, chatting. He said he checked out the channel, and he's like, you guys talk about a lot of politics, and I'm really a one issue, and I don't want to get caught up. And I'm like, yeah, that's, no, you're good. You're good.
Boy.
So please go shout him out and help him out. If you know anything about legality or laws or gaming in your country, please go and reach out to him. So, that was what I had for this. Shall we move on to Rekieta Law? I just wanted to get those kind of things out of the way.
Yeah, of course. Yes, we can move on to Rekieta Law. And Tesh, do you want to give a history of who that guy is?
TLDR for Rekieta Law. Rekieta Law is a YouTube lawyer. One of his more notable things that he did is he convinced Vic Mignogna to sue Funimation and 2 women and one of the women's husbands for quote-unquote defamation because they didn't want to work with him and he lost his contract. Vic has accused them of tortious interference, and like none of that stuff is accurate, to the surprise of fucking nobody. They raised like, what was it, $500,000?
Oh, okay.
I don't remember. They did a GoFundMe. Yeah, they did a GoFundMe. I don't remember how much it was. It was a lot.
It was a lot, and I was surprised with the amount of money, and I was always wondering where it went. And I was like, where did it go?
So he did put the GoFundMe together for Vic to pay for his legal fees, and then got the lawyer for Vic that was going to represent him, who was a real estate lawyer, his name is Ty Beard, who is a friend of Nick Rekieta, and when requesting receipts for that GoFundMe, nobody's seen it, as well as the that GoFundMe, the amount of money in that GoFundMe was brought up when there was like the list of assets that were put forward by the court. So when like the opposing lawyers went, hey, we need to know how much money you are going to like get in recompense, we need to know what your assets are, and that GoFundMe was listed in the assets. So I don't know what's happened with that since, because there's been no like public facing paperwork since that I've seen at the very least. But yeah, so he's been arrested for drugs and weapons.
Yeah. At first, people were like, "Oh, it's possible that it's just marijuana," but we did get access to a live stream where, it was quite clear it wasn't just marijuana; it was some other substance. People are speculating it's methamphetamine. I would say it's probably not that. It's something else. Probably painkillers, in my opinion, and alcohol. Why I'm speculating that? Because I do drug and alcohol random testing for my site, so I know a little bit around that. But I can be wrong. But it's not marijuana. It's more than that. Plus, the alcohol has been abused. That it's quite obvious. And I was expecting that to come through. I was expecting that to happen because the whole Vic Mignogna situation and what happened with it. That's something major, especially it happened on his advice. So I'm not going to be I had said privately that I'm not going to be surprised if he spirals out of control, and here we are today. And
it didn't take too long.
It can be several other factors also in his life. We know that he has a mistress, if I'm not wrong. That can also add on to the stress. Most of the time it's the financial stress that starts doing this. So
here was the video that went around that had people being
really,
like,
really
wow,
sad.
It's like, this is not good.
So sad. No, as some
it's hard to watch.
dear.
He like comes out of it a little bit.
Why is my camera still on?
So this was a portion of like a whole live stream, and it's like, bro, this is the internet is not good for people sometimes.
No, it's not. You have to be really, really careful. I would give my example because I have had times where I've like just scooted off internet and I've said I don't want to deal with stuff. And I'm someone with depression, anxiety, but it's been because I've got good friends around me to tell me you need a break, you know?
Sure.
Most of the times. So, you know, so I scuttle away. That's what was needed around Rekieta, someone to advise him to cut it out when it was needed, but it's too late now, in my opinion. He can still go back and rehab, obviously, right? So there are two things happening here. So I think so he's abusing more than one drug, in my opinion, because that motion he did with whatever. Yeah, when you scratch a lot of your skin, that's methamphetamine. And when you do a lot of this, that's cocaine. So it can be either of one of those. Or he was just jerking himself off, and he was high on painkillers and alcohol. So there are many permutation and combinations that are possible. And
don't ask me, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know any of this shit. I'm
not laughing at Rekieta. I'm laughing at someone in the live chat. Sorry, guys.
Oh, in this chat.
No. Someone in the live chat. Sorry, guys. I got distracted. It's sad. Yeah. But I expected it. I saw it coming from a mile away. I don't know why I see these coming from a mile away. But
well, apparently there was also, according to Random Guy, the video was where he was really trashed was after he had lost an appeal to a defamation lawsuit against him. So a lot of that self-soothing situation. So I'm just gonna read some of this real quick. So this is the Fox 9 article.
Yep.
See if I can get, that should be good. Yeah. Minnesota-based lawyer and online legal analyst Nick Rekieta is facing a drug charge. Rekieta was arrested Thursday along with his wife Kyla and fellow online personality. Prosecutors filed charges against Rekieta and his wife on Friday for second-degree possession, child endangerment, and a gross misdemeanor firearm charge. According to the charges, law enforcement attempted to execute a search warrant on May 23rd at Rekieta's home in Spicer and was greeted by a girl at the front door who would not let them inside. After Rekieta refused to provide the door code, law enforcement used a door ram to get inside and found Kyla Imholt and 4 juveniles inside. Law enforcement proceeded to search the master bedroom and bathroom, where they allegedly found a variety of drug paraphernalia, including 3 small baggies that tested positive for cocaine, 8 green tablets that tested positive for ketamine, which is also what you're saying, the painkiller, yeah, and a digital scale, and several other items that tested positive for cocaine, charges claim. Authorities also found a Sig Saucer AR with several magazines and loose ammunition underneath the bed, a spent shell casing on the bedroom floor, and located additional firearms and ammunitions in the garage, according to court records. Police took Rekieta and his wife into custody, and he told law enforcement that he and his wife stayed in the master bedroom, where law enforcement claimed to find most of the drug paraphernalia, but allegedly refused to answer questions about the cocaine, according to court records. Before his arrest, some online users had raised concerns about Rekieta's health this week, sharing a clip of him appearing to doze off during a stream. That's putting it nicely, that he was just dozing off, but yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Law enforcement noted Rekieta had several injuries to his arm at the time of the arrest. We saw him scratching. They described the injuries as sores that are common with controlled substance users, charges said.
When you inject a lot of methamphetamine, yeah. Oh my god. You can lose your arm. You can get gangrene because of that, and you can lose your arm or the body part you're injecting it through. So think about this, please, guys. Public service announcement. It can go bad, really bad, and it's sad that his kids got involved. I think so. The 4 kids that were there, his kids got involved.
Oh, not 5. It was
really
nearly 300,000. Sorry, not
300,000. Yeah,
nearly
so I found out about it.
300,000. Yeah, this was
thing
the
is- the thing
Rekieta
about
law
this-
put together
yeah.
for Ty Beard about Vic Mignogna. Just
Yeah,
for reference.
and
Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah, no worries. The thing about that GoFundMe was because in where Ty Beard operates, I think so, or where the case was from, there are very specific ways on how you spend a client's funds. You have to create a separate account for those funds, and then you have to justify each time you're taking a chunk out from it, why you're taking it up. So kind of keep an inventory of sorts to show to your client. I don't know if anything like that was done. I'm not going to be surprised if nothing like that was done, but that is a violation of the code of conduct for the lawyers, and Ty Beard could lose his license because of that if it comes out that way. So I would say to Ty Beard, like, he needs to clarify this matter as soon as possible before he gets caught up in it. So yeah, so Rekieta law. This is not something to revel in. This is something very, very sad.
He's been having a hard time for a while, from what I can tell, and it's been a bit of a downward spiral. As soon as he started doing the Vic Mignogna stuff, I was like, this isn't gonna go well, and it's been kind of, he's gotten more and more volatile ever since.
It's like, there has to be a time. I get it that because you're on YouTube, admitting to mistakes can be very hard. We have seen that in past 6 to 8 months.
Absolutely.
Not even 9 months.
Yep.
9 and even 10 months. We are in May now. And all that shit started in June, July, if I'm not wrong. So almost, 11 months now? 11 months? So
if we want to talk about, like, and I think this is accurate, I do think that when it comes to the entertainment industry, mainstream, has problems, but it does have regulations, right? There are rules. Sometimes those rules are better enforced than others, but there are rules about what is and is not allowed, and in some cases those rules are very, very clear. For example, like your Alec Baldwin shooting incident, right? These things, and sometimes accidents happen, and sometimes they're due to negligence, and there are investigations, and yada, 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 yada. YouTube doesn't work like that. YouTube doesn't have, there's no HR on YouTube. It's not how it works here. And the rules are very vague and unclear. And as more and more content gets made, and as more and more things happen, and the law gets involved, as more and more nonsense goes on, then more and more rules and stricter, or like things that can be followed through on are going to happen. It's like what we're seeing with the company, right? Things that are setting precedents in certain legal situations. This is one of those types of things where you have like this B, C, E, F, G tier internet celebrity getting himself into a lot of trouble, and even besides just getting into trouble, you see people defending him. So I saw Mars Girl, who is like, had people going after her for because she's anti Vic Mignogna or whatever. When she talked about this, was like, holy shit, this is kind of fucked up. Said, yeah, but you're fat, in response to her. And I'm like,
I saw that.
Are you
I was like, your priorities
for real?
Your priorities are quite obvious, my guy. Like,
are you
instead
fucking
of worrying about
kidding me?
Rekieta law was getting help or not, what his kids are okay or not, nothing of that sort. Nah, shooting the messenger here, right? Just because you don't like the messenger. How many times we have experienced that, Chesh? Haven't we?
Every time.
Toxic as fuck. And I think so, partially. I think so there are similarities between the situations we have been dealing with, Chesh, and this one. Is the concerned trolls.
Sure.
I think so are partially responsible for Rekieta too. They create that echo chamber, they egg you on, and you think you are right in every situation, whatever you do is right.
Yep.
And then you end up doing something that there's no going back from. And exactly that's what happened with all the
you
companies.
you think you're getting support when what you're actually getting is people enabling you and encouraging you in a really bad direction. And if you don't have the right kind of people around you, you need to be able to tell the difference online. And this is a YouTube problem.
Yeah.
We regularly see somebody who is in front of the camera who is generally a decent person, gets a lot of following or gets an amount of following, and then they just start catering to what that following wants, and it will degrade over time. Particularly on YouTube, if you're the person who cannot be like, oh yeah, I was wrong about that. If you can't do that, you're gonna get yourself into trouble.
Yeah. And,
Debate me, bro.
I think so. Debate me, bro. And this is what has happened here. It started as, I genuinely think Rekieta started out as, I want to help someone. I genuinely think. But I think so it spiraled out of control because of the concern trolling. Plus, his own decisions also. He chose to go that way. So, yes. This is really...
It's one of those things where you don't
not
like...
unexpected.
Nobody likes to see the consequences when they're so bad for people, particularly for people who aren't at fault, right? Like, his kids didn't do anything. They don't deserve to have to deal with this, but that's life, and you can't protect people from the consequences of their own actions. Whether you disagree or agree with or dislike or do like Rekieta's content, like, I disagree with a lot of Rekieta's content and some of the things that he's said and done, and you want people to see consequences for their actions when they're bullies, but that doesn't mean you hate them and want, like, horrible things for them.
I will call out a couple of people around Rekieta law.
Oh, sure.
For this. The umbrella guy.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna call them out.
Okay, go on.
I know they did a good job. They did a good job with the Amber Heard case, but they are the worst enabler on this planet.
Really? I'm curious to hear some of the details because, like, I haven't found that personally. You're probably following it closer than me. So yeah.
Yeah. So I think so. I saw their tweet. Yeah, they're showing concern and stuff, but I don't know what they did when he was spiraling out of control. So, yeah, I brought that name up because they were one. I agree with the way they handled the Amber Heard trial, but I disagree with a lot of other stuff they do.
Sure.
Because with the Amber Heard trial, everything was available quite freely. All the evidence, the narrative, everything, the paperwork, court paperwork. It was a public trial. With other stuff, I don't know. I don't understand his rhetoric. So yeah, maybe one day Cash will sit down in the Discord and have a yarn on it. But yeah, I think so. Some of the YouTubers have also enabled this behavior.
So this is a thing, right? Is that there are degrees of separation, because this is going to be a thing on YouTube too. So I'm going to give Mani a little bit of pushback, where being friendly or associates on YouTube there's not a whole lot you can do, right? Like, there's not a whole lot you can do to change somebody's mind outside of being like, hey, you shouldn't do this. And sometimes doing that in a public way works, and sometimes it doesn't. It's very, very consequential. But it sounds contextual. But the way this comes off to me is that Nick Rekieta was going in a direction. But what you didn't see is the people who probably should have been distancing themselves actually distancing themselves.
Yeah. That's
right? So that's where you get, like, people
yeah.
are going to enable him, or they're going to just kind of let his behavior be because it doesn't negatively affect them or their viewership.
Yeah.
Because they're not really your friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
So it's kind of difficult, and it's not, and then you started getting into this sticky space where it's like, how much is this, like, water cooler coworker that's who God knows how far away from you, how responsible are they for helping you navigate? And, like, that's all gonna be very, very relational. What I would rather see is because I agree with what you're saying, like, there's clearly been, like, online enabling for Rekieta, but I don't think that, like, I don't think they could necessarily stop him. But I do think that, like, particularly LawTube was having this sphere around them where they were very much, we protect our own and don't call each other out.
Yes.
And that lets stuff like this happen. And so that because, like, he's being enabled and not getting checked in any way, that can escalate and spiral. So how responsible are they? As, like, direct individuals, maybe not, but from, like, a social sphere, you could say that, like...
The community, you can say. You could say the community.
Yeah.
Community. So not necessarily I'll change my, the statement around it. Not necessarily the umbrella guy, the whole sphere, as Chesh said.
Mm-hmm.
The whole community of the YouTube legal advisors or, whatever, creators, they have this policy of protecting their own and not calling them out publicly. I'm not saying not to call Rekieta Law about his drugs or whatever publicly, because sometimes that won't work.
You're talking about like the attitude, behaviors, and
the attitude.
Arguments.
So that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I think there's a correlation and there's a causation here.
When you surround yourselves
with what we are saying now,
when you enable and cause toxicity, you are going to become that thing. It's if you do not curb it in a community, it will take over the community. That's just the way it works, because there's nothing stopping it, and good people are going to get pushed out because they're not going to want to be around that. So the more toxic Rekieta got, the more toxic the community got, and the more toxic the community got, the more toxic Rekieta got. And because nobody in that sphere of influence was willing to be like, hey, maybe fucking stop. And sometimes you have to do that. You can't just do that in the background. You have to do that kind of stuff publicly because all of your community is intermingled. It'd be like if somebody, like if Dapper, for example, because I like using Dapper as an example. If Dapper was suddenly like had a couple of Nazis hanging out in his chat, and I was like, bro, you got some Nazis in your chat, and he was like, yeah, fuck you, and then I just never said or did anything about it, then eventually, like, that's gonna, once you allow a Nazi to sit at the table, all the Nazis are gonna come sit at your table because the Nazis found a spot where a table that they're allowed to sit at. And Nazis shouldn't be allowed to sit at the tables. Standing room only, in the corner with a dunce cap. Get out of here.
Yep. So that's that. Yeah, I shouldn't maybe have taken his name in particular, but that's what my point was.
As an example, sure, but I wouldn't make him solely like responsible. No. I would call it like a community issue.
No, that I agree on. Not solely responsible, no.
It doesn't,
because I think so. I saw his tweet. Maybe that's why on my timeline. That's why his name stuck out. So yeah. But I do disagree with his some of his coverage also. So we'll talk about that some other day. That's not
maybe another time. But that's been the Rekieta thing. I don't want to be too like alarmist about it, and I'd rather drive it into like a more positive conversation, right? To be like, okay, so how do you avoid that kind of shit? Right? Like, how do you not? And like sometimes it's really hard, and sometimes you kind of have to move as almost like a little bit of a group. Like there's a reason why people don't go on a modern day debate anymore. And like there was a group of people that collectively were like, none of us are going. And so you kind of work as a group to be like, none of us are going to talk about this thing if you want to have healthy relationships with other YouTubers and other content creators and within your own community. So like if you and your group of friends all watch the same handful of creators, then it's up to you to sort of check each other to be like, oh, why are you watching that person? Or whatever.
I would say I would bring up another example recently of that, what's happened. Not recently, it's been happening for the last couple of years. The case of Keffels, if anybody's heard about that YouTuber. They're a transgender YouTuber, and Some Ordinary Gamers, Mutahar, his name is Mutahar, and his channel is Some Ordinary Gamers. He released a more than an hour-long video about their whole journey around the GoFundMe they raised and what happened with that money and everything, and how we came to know that Keffels also fell into that hole of using drugs as self-soothing. According to Keffels, that's what they said, that they fell into that deep hole of drug usage. So that's another example.
There was one YouTuber, I can't remember, sorry, a Twitch streamer, I can't remember what his name was, but he was like, nobody streaming for 12 hours a day every day is they're on something. They're probably doing cocaine, because there's no way you're live that much, that often, with that level of energy without help. And he kind of tertiarily called out that there's a really, when you start getting into like the higher end of YouTube and Twitch, if you're doing that kind of high energy streaming all the time, you likely have a drug supply.
Yeah, I don't tend to make those claims, but yeah, when you see
he was somebody in the community, right? He was
understood. Okay.
Yeah.
So the Keffels is another example, and they're transgender YouTubers, so please be mindful. Please I didn't go and check their pronouns, so that's why I'm saying they. So yeah. So it's now becoming noticeable, and people are blindly contributing to the GoFundMes without any, checks and balances, and then shit happens. So you want to really make sure
in the
where
chat,
your money is going.
Yeah. Look out for yourself. We have somebody in the chat, Mets4040. Now, if this is the Mets that I think it is, they're a big Vic Mignogna fan. And if that's actually them and not a troll account or like an imitation account, and saying that they're going to stand with Rekieta, I'd be curious to know why.
Yeah, around what? What are you standing with Rekieta on? Are you standing that he needs help and he needs to go in recovery, if that's what you're supporting, or are you supporting his Vic Mignogna campaign and all that, and his actions around that? So yeah, if you can verify, that will be great, because then we have I will not question you. If you want to support a YouTuber who's going through crisis, I will not question you on that. That's fine. That's your prerogative. And maybe that can work for them if people are around there and telling you, we are with you, get well, and we are still going to be here when you come back.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's a problem when you get people like what I've seen some of the people going after Mars Girl over, who Mars Girl's just like, wow, holy shit, and these people are coming back and attacking her for being like, wow, this isn't okay, as if that supports Rekieta law. And I'm gonna say this, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again in the future: attacking someone else does not support the person you're attacking on behalf of.
Exactly.
If you want to support them, you need to speak to them. And if somebody is telling you attacking somebody else supports them, they're full of shit. They're just want you to do their dirty work for them.
Yeah, they're weaponizing you, and and maybe you want to check yourself if you're willing to do something like that, because then you are just becoming a pleaser. That's what you're becoming. That you're so desperate for approval from your favorite YouTuber that you're willing to do something as toxic as that. So yeah, might want to check yourself also before you wreck yourself. So I don't think so. Mets has replied in the live chat.
Give him a couple of minutes, but in Feline also had asked, I wonder how you were going to actually support Rekieta. Like, what actions are you going to take? What are you intending on doing? Because contextually that could be really good, or really bad, or really fucking parasocial. Because realistically, does Nick Rekieta right now actually need internet influence right now from strangers? Or does he need support of real people in his real life giving him the support that he needs? And trying to interfere with that as an internet individual might not be conducive to a positive direction or recovery.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's really easy to accidentally enable somebody by supporting them.
Yes.
Right? Because you're just like, hey, listen, we understand, shit happens, it's not that big of a deal. No, this is a big deal, and it needs to be treated as such, and dismissing it actually ends up accidentally enabling them to do it again, rather than actually being comforting in any way. Right?
Yeah. Intrigue Feline said something interesting in the live chat. The best support is to give no support sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta let that person crash on their own because you cannot help someone who doesn't want to be helped. That's
Yep.
the most simple thing. So yeah, and no one can help Nick over here if he doesn't want to be helped. But I really I hope in all this his children are safe in all this. That's what I worry about. His children don't get exposed anymore than what they've gone through, and they are being looked after most probably by someone in the family, because if they end up in foster system or with the authority, with the children's services, that that's very, very, you don't want that. You don't want that for a child. So yeah, and I saw that coming. I was just waiting for it when.
Here's some support. Sleeping Bulbasaur, please feel better about yourselves. I know it's a bit of a heavy topic, and like I said, I don't think it will be a very good idea. And I think if I see it coming from people being like, "Haha, fuck you," is kind of not a good response to something like this. Even if you are somebody
that tells me what your priorities are, actually.
Right.
That tells me what your priorities are.
And that's not something that I've seen from people who have been critical of Nick Rekieta in the past so far. I haven't seen that so far. I think that maybe having that reaction a little bit later will probably be okay. It's just initially you want to be like, oh my god, what the fuck is everything like? Oh shit, and then like down the line being like, oh well, he got jail time, haha, fuck him. Like that's kind of, you know what I mean?
And it would have been, I would say such reaction would be valid if it was some time around down the line where he is in rehab, or he is, trying to, he's putting an effort to do better and, and recover, and then people are still harping about it. Then then this kind of outrage might be valid.
Yeah.
But at this stage, no, your priorities are not right. That's all I'm going to say. No, you're looking in the wrong direction.
Keeping in mind that feelings are valid and your personal reaction is different from you then choosing to like write it out on Twitter or make a video doing it. So like your feelings about the situation are valid, and I'm not gonna like come down on you for thought crime. But if you go ahead then and decide to start tweeting shit and being a shitty person publicly, then that's like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
If he doesn't help himself, then fuck him. But everyone needs and deserves support. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. I think that's
to a certain extent. To a certain extent, because people also who are providing the support also have boundaries. They also have limits. Not everyone can provide limited
Yeah, there's
support.
a difference between deserving support and taking advantage of people who are supportive. Those.
Yeah, that's this. So wishing Rekieta, Nick, best of luck with whatever is happening. I really hope his children are well.
Yeah.
It's sad, but I saw it coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
So,
I think the consequences of his actions are something that he shouldn't be like saved from. He's made his bed, he's got to lie in it.
Minimize it.
But hopefully he comes out better on the other side of those consequences.
Yeah. Of course, no one wants him to default
I'm sure somebody
further
does.
than this.
Sure somebody does.
Oh, okay. Somebody does.
Probably the Amber Heard supporters, if I had to guess. Those people.
Yeah, they can go fuck themselves.
Those are some people.
They can go fuck themselves. Yeah. So moving on.
Yes.
We're moving on, right?
Yeah. Let's move on. I got this one. This is kind of funny that I wanted to show you. I figured we'd do something a little bit lighthearted before we get back into the sticky nonsense.
Yeah.
So I thought this one was kind of funny.
This video really struck a nerve with me, and let me tell you why. I do openly express my opinions about Gen X. They were highly praised, and they were given a lot from boomers. They're basically the golden children of a narcissistic family structure. That's my opinion.
All right, I'm going to give her a little leeway because later on in her video, she states that she's not talking to all Gen Xers. That little caveat aside, she goes on to generalize about us for the rest of the 3 minutes. All you have to do is pick up your phone, ask Google, do a little research on Gen X. I think you'll find plenty of information that will tell you that that is absolutely not the experience most of us grew up under. When it comes to family time and being doted on by our parents, it didn't happen. I remember we actually did have family game night about 2 or 3 times a year. Usually it landed on holidays because otherwise my parents were working. And don't get it twisted, family game night for us wasn't the Seavers sitting around playing the game of life. It was a swarthy Greek family playing blackjack, where mama was the house, and the house always won.
This video really struck.
This guy has completely missed the point. It's an analogy, not literally to you, the individual.
Yeah, it's there's no saying, there's no refuting the fact that there have been previous generations who have benefited from the economy that is now.
It's not about the criticism that she is giving is analogous, not literal. She's not saying the home that a Gen Xer grew up in is literally like that. She's saying that in the generational arc of like older generations and how those generations treat each other and what the socioeconomic structure was at the time, this is how Gen X looks to someone from Gen Z. So, like, it's not saying that Gen Xers were all spoiled, like, the golden child as individuals within that, or that their family homes were good or bad. They're saying that the boomers took care of you, and you have not passed that down. And in fact are taking things from the prior, or from the generations following.
Future.
Yeah, go ahead, Manya.
Yeah, that's what they've done. Yeah, they have, I was just checking what generation am I. I'm a millennial.
You're a what?
Yes, I was just millennial.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, so yeah, it says it is 1981 to 1996 are millennials. So what? Gen Z? What? Okay. No. Okay. So,
don't get distracted.
yeah. Focus. So yeah, that's what happened. The previous generations, some previous generations have pushed on the financial burden.
Yeah.
Onto the coming generations, and because of that, like, they have borrowed in advance from the coming generations so much that now the coming generations look like they are going to be in debt forever. That's why there's so much inflation. You cannot afford housing at the same minimum wage. You could before, but not now. And you cannot even look after yourself. You can't even get insurance. You can't get insurance. Your employers are trying to find ways to get out of insuring you, giving you health insurance, and yada yada yada. All this is the product of the future generations not doing their bit and just pushing that debt onto the coming generations. So that was the idea, if I'm not wrong.
There was a big push for what's it called? The borrowing from the generation coming after you to pay for your current social security.
Exactly.
That's a problem, and the part of the issue is that the people that were voting for that, which is the Gen Xers, it's not helping. It doesn't help. Again, and this is not about, like, the individuals, right? There's a lot of Gen X people that I know, and they are lovely people who do want the best. We're talking about the overarching generational decisions that were made by the people in power, not your middle class working family, who is no longer a middle class working family. You're all poor now. Congratulations. Join the club, losers. So the problem, part of the problem is this guy. I'm gonna play this again. Listen to how defensive this dude gets immediately from some basic ass criticism and an analogy.
A pain.
And this video really struck a nerve with me. And
sorry, go ahead, Manya. Yeah.
And also notice the analogy he brings up.
Yeah.
Like what he compares it to. It's like so ridiculous.
Yeah.
tell you why. I do openly express my opinions about Gen X. They were like highly praised and they were given a lot from boomers. They're basically the golden children of like a narcissistic family structure. That's my opinion.
All right, I'm going to give her a little leeway because...
Oh, he's going to give us leeway. What a nice guy.
Who the fuck
Oh
are
my
you to
God.
give leeway to anyone? Oh my god. Thank you, sir. I was waiting for that. Thank you for giving her, you know, slack, cutting her slack. Your Majesty, Your Grace.
Bro, like, he already starts off with this totally defensive, condescending right out the gate. Oh, I'm gonna give her some leeway. Ah, okay, didn't ask.
Yeah.
It's her opinion, dude. You didn't ask how she came to that conclusion. You didn't play that part of the video.
Yes, for some reason. I wonder why. I know there's a time limit on the shorts, but still.
Yeah, oh yeah, sure.
Later on
You
in her
picked up
video,
that
she
part.
states that she's not talking to all Gen Xers. That
Yeah, it's a generalization, and then you proceed to treat it as if it's not a generalization. So you've already acknowledged that she's not doing the thing you're about to criticize her for.
It's and the thing is that he makes it personal. It's almost like he's projecting, as if he's feeling guilty and he has to justify it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, my parents didn't look after me because they left me home alone. Yeah, same thing should happen with me also. Both of my parents were working and I was left home alone,
fuck your financial issues that have been pushed upon you by my generation.
Yeah.
As if that invalidates her criticism in any way, shape, or form. This is such a bad response that it made me laugh. I needed to share.
Man.
Yeah.
It's a straw man.
It's a straw man that he acknowledged is a straw man. He's like, I understand that this isn't what she's saying, but I'm gonna criticize the thing that she's not saying anyway, and then talk as if she did say that.
And it's not a caveat, my guy. It's a generalization.
And it's a metaphor.
Yeah, you're for some reason going the other way around. I would say it's projection and guilty conscience, but you know.
Listen, everybody, there are going to be people of every generation that has shitty parents. And we're trying to do better as a society by not having kids. I'm kidding.
Yep.
I'm kidding. That's a joke.
And then, and now politicians are like, "Why aren't you having kids? Why don't you want to have kids?" I'm like, I don't know. Like, you tell me.
Actually, I've got a good answer for that. You want to know the answer? Hold on, I'll pull it up. Just a second. I've got this. I got this. Wait a sec. Hold on.
Intrigue Feline, in the meanwhile, Intrigue Feline from the live chat. I am quite lucky being able to actually buy a house. About 2-3% of the people in my situation are able to. Only 2-3%. Yeah, I think so. I'm also in that group who can just, you know, just squeeze by and be able to buy their own house from one income. So I fall in that group.
This guy's gonna explain to you exactly why.
Oh yeah, I saw this one. Oh, this is
people having kids anymore, because no one has a spare $300,000. It's the same reason I haven't bought a sapphire mine recently. It's just a tad too expensive. I don't want to spend money on a kid. I freeze my bread to make it last longer. I'm cheap. Look, it's not even a joke. It's just a good tip. I don't even spend the fake money I earn in video games. Here's a better question. Why did the people who had kids before choose to make it feel impossible to have kids now, and how can they help fix that? The closest I'm gonna get to having kids is rewatching the first season of Stranger Things. But who's gonna take care of you when you're old? I don't know. Probably an AI android with a voice just different enough from Scarlett Johansson's for it to be legal.
I'll go for
Why aren't
Asia.
No one's gonna take care of us when we're old. The millennials are going to die. The millennials are going to die. A lot of them will probably likely die before they get old enough to be in like old age home care because they can't afford medical. They can't afford medical in the first place. So they're either going to die from overwork or die due to complications of other things because they cannot afford anything. So they're going to die in poverty. That's what's going to happen.
It's already happening in other cultures like Japan and South
It's already
Korea.
happening in America right now.
People are dying. Yeah, people are dying due to overwork and stress.
Yep.
And lack of sleep. And yeah, it's like, and this expectation of the older generation to say the reason we had kids because they will take care of us when we grow old, that is the most selfish shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
It's the most selfish shit I've ever heard. And for me, like, if somebody asks me, oh, who will take care of you when you get old? I cannot afford to say this to my parents because it might probably give them a heart attack, but I will just go for voluntary euthanasia at that point.
Yeah.
And like, I'm done. I've lived my life. That's it. Full stop. The day it needs that someone needs to wipe my arse, I will be like, let's get out of here. That's what my idea would be.
There's also this other issue where this is not a generation versus generation problem. What needs to happen is we need to acknowledge, like, because I'm a millennial, we need to acknowledge, including the Gen Z and people coming after us, need to acknowledge that Gen Xers are individuals the same way we are, right? And so we're not going to sit here and blame them specifically. We also need to understand about politics that things are overarching and fluid. And so because it's fluid, one singular president is not at fault for everything that happens after that during their term all the time, nor everything after their term, except for Reagan. Fuck Reagan. And and that the older generation needs to understand that us having these issues are not a direct attack on them personally. It's about that this is a problem that we need your help to fix because we're not allowed to fix it because we're not allowed to play the game.
Yes. You know who's playing the game? That one top 2% who have hoarded all the wealth in the world.
Right.
They are playing the game. Mm-hmm. This is all because of them, and we are fighting amongst ourselves. Instead of looking up at them and like, oh yeah, you trust fund babies. Fuck you.
So, speaking of looking up at the older generation and saying kind of fuck you, I got sent this, and it's this was friendly reminder that I am still raising money to flee the United States. I have sufficient funds to do the initial move now, but the remaining part of the goal is to make sure that I am able to get settled in and have a safety net in case of any unfortunate surprises. So, help, it's like a GoFundMe, right? And then they misgendered her because it's LGB instead of LGBT because this is a group of crazy people who want to want to treat trans people like they're not part of the LGBTQ community. Yeah. And guess who's at the bottom?
This dense motherfucker.
This
vacuous, maudlin, braggadocious, self-indulging, egotistical, dyspeptic nincompoop. Seriously. Nazi
for somebody who likes
homophobic,
to say
transphobic.
For somebody who likes to say that they support LGBTQ people or they support trans people, but whatever caveat, misgendering is not conducive. So, as you say, I am sure misgendered will be missed. Misgendered moving to Pakistan, misgendered would be very popular there. So racism, mixed with wishing death on somebody, mixed with having not a very good understanding of, like, policies and politics in Pakistan at all. Mani, would you like to elaborate on that?
I am upset, actually. I'm so I'm upset right now. How can you wish something on someone like that? Anyone. In Pakistan, you can get lynched, and that's what he's implying here. What, or else why would he say Pakistan? He could have said India. He could have said China. Blah 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 blah. He said Pakistan for a reason. Steve, what is, like, if you think that there's something else going on, shady going on, like maybe they're mismanaging the funds that they're getting, you want accountability on that, then question that. You don't need to go this way. Why are you doing this? Mutahar, some ordinary gamers, when they did their video, they talked about Keffel's, what the mismanagement happened with her GoFundMe and the reasons that kept changing, why she was doing the GoFundMe and kept raising the amount and blah 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 blah. They were talking about that. They weren't doing this, and that's the difference between Steve McRae and other YouTubers out there. And I am upset, actually. You know the implications of the statement you have done. Now, what you have done is, anyone out there who's capable of getting their hands on this person, any country, you have put a target on them now. Are you stupid? Or you did it on purpose? Are you so desperate for attention, Steve, that now you're sunk so low? Is that how desperate you are to create content?
There's
this
so
would have
many
never flown amongst
things.
us if that happened when
Oh
we
God,
were there
no.
with him.
Oh
We would have
God,
punched
no.
him verbally in the face.
There's a couple issues here. Besides this idea that America is better than everywhere else, right? Because that's what Steve is saying. Steve is like, well, if you're gonna leave America, you deserve whatever you get anywhere else you go. Implying that anywhere else is obviously worse than America. So I'm gonna have to pump the brakes on that real quick. Secondly,
that's racism.
You went to Pakistan because of the Islamophobia that's still left over from 9/11. That's why you picked Pakistan.
Yep.
So that's not good. That's not good at all. Let alone that there is a lot of people that have a tendency to be American. Not all of them, but it does unfair, like the demographic is definitively lent towards Americans or Western, because like it happens in Canada as well, that they think Pakistan is like a dirt hole. Like they think that there's no money in India. They think that like that it's just like a garbage place. And like no, that is definitively not the case. So it's just like a racist idea of what Pakistan is actually like. And that, don't get me wrong, that the Pakistan is definitely like very far behind in political and legal policies when it comes to women and trans people and gay and like the LGBTQ plus community. But that doesn't like trying to use that to weaponize it to wish death on somebody just because they don't want to live in your country anymore because you're treating them like shit is kind of some underhanded bullshit. I'm not gonna lie.
Do you know why I gave up my Indian citizenship and accepted New Zealand citizenship? Steve, what do you think of that?
He doesn't think of that at all, Manya. We're dead to him.
It's making me, Tesh, it's making me upset. I'm gonna start crying right now. It's making me upset.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't realize the fucking impact of the statement that he just, because I know what happens in Pakistan.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it on news.
Mm-hmm.
Steve is so desperate to have spotlight on himself or some sort of interaction or hit the algorithm or whatever. He's so desperate that now he's wishing death, very painful death about on people. Apparently, maybe he doesn't agree with or has some beef with,
and also implies that Pakistan is just inherently like that and can never change, and can never be better. And in fact, he's also implying that that Pakistan never should be any better because that Pakistan needs to be a consequence for LGBTQ people who dare to leave America.
You know, there's a reason he didn't say Saudi Arabia, right? We know that one. He didn't have the balls to do that. Fucking asshole. There's just like, what, $2,000 on that? And this statement for that mere $2,000. $2,000 is nothing to move to another country. Nothing.
What am I supposed to be looking for inside this GoFundMe? They sent me the link to the GoFundMe.
Hey, come here.
I'll pull it up so you guys can see it. I guess I'll link it so if you guys want to check it out. I'm not here to support this GoFundMe because I don't know anything about the GoFundMe itself. But you guys can feel free to check it out. There's the link to it. I'll put the link to it in Twitch, so if you guys wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Hey!
Hey everyone.
It's emotional support cat.
Yeah, I know. I can't hold him up for long because he doesn't like to be held for long, so
Aw, little buddy.
But this is Dr. Proton, everyone. He's 10 years old, and he's very gentle. He's very well behaved, but he has high expectations around food. So yeah, that's something I need to work on.
Yeah, well, whatever. Just keep Dr. Proton away from Aaron's older sister that may or may not exist.
Yes. Oh yes. Yes.
Okay, so
this has been
Yep.
this has been in pipeline for a long time, and I finally found the courage to do it. So I'm very happy. Yeah.
I don't know why. Oh, there we go. Sorry, my thing wasn't updating. It looks like it's fixed now. All right, so I am raising money to help my girlfriend Vyra stay overseas. Vyra had to flee the U.S. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name right. I apologize. Had to flee the U.S. last year due to transphobia, making her living situation unsafe, and so she has to move overseas to live in a safer country. So obviously not going to Pakistan then, Steve. Raising this amount before June will afford her another year of classes, so she's in school, allowing her to extend her education visa and remain safely where she is now. The money raised will go towards classes, rent, immigration fees, and living expenses, securing her safely in her new home. So, there is no listing of which country it is. There's no listing of, like, what the education status, etc., etc., etc. It doesn't even, technically, it doesn't even say that they're a U.S. citizen, just that they had to flee the United States last year.
So they've already left.
Yeah, she's not even in America right now, correct. They're probably a United States citizen, but that's context clues.
What the fuck, Steve? Why would you say something? I don't. Okay, I need more context here. Why how spiteful? Why would you get so spiteful? How come Steve? Why is Steve so spiteful against this person? What happened? Did something happen, or Steve is just being spiteful because he wants attention? Wow. Holy shit. Is that Steve? Is that really the Steve we used to call out and he would say, oh, okay, yeah, sorry, that's not fair. Like, is that guy? Really?
Well, and here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Even if you think that this isn't true, right? Even if you're like, well, there are places in the US that are more accepting of LGBTQ people than others, that doesn't mean that moving to those places is more conducive to moving somewhere else. America is incredibly volatile right now. And if they have an education opportunity in another country that they are currently in the midst of obtaining, staying there and finishing their education and immigrating might be a more feasible option than coming back to the United States and then having to, like, find a place, be unsure about that place regardless, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, let alone how unstable the current political climate in America actually is for an LGBTQ person, because America isn't exactly very LGBTQ plus friendly in its legislation policies.
Yep.
Even if you think, like, your local neighborhood is, like, you have a pride parade and, you know, people don't get mad about gay cakes or whatever the fuck, that does not mean that the legislation in your state is actually feasible for LGBTQ plus people. Yeah. So even if you think this is not even true, you need a lot more than what is just in this fundraiser. And there's still not an excuse. It's still not an excuse to misgender the shit out of this person.
No, and if you have a problem with their reasoning for doing this GoFundMe, you can say they already have their own funds, or they are already, financially stable. They don't need this GoFundMe, or that blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Then talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that. Why are you poisoning the well with hate?
This is definitely going to help Pakistan do better.
This is so I've never seen someone so desperate in my life for interaction and the algorithm to pick them up.
It's okay, it gets better.
Holy shit.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, okay. Alright, here we go.
You can't stop me. Question. A young person is experiencing gender dysphoria and identifies as trans. through counseling, they come to accept the sex they were born with and live their lives as just being gay. Are you okay with that, or is that conversion therapy to you?
That's conversion therapy. That's conversion therapy, and that's what I was mad when I was reading the cast report.
Did you notice the little slip up here in this? He's already acknowledging that conversion therapy is bad.
Yeah. Are you trying? I
What kind of counseling? Yeah, good question. What counseling? What counseling would do this? What's the cause and effect here?
And why young person? Get them young?
Oh, it has to be somebody who's already who's not. Okay, yeah. Good point. Good call out.
A young person.
Why a young person?
Because they're easily influenced. That's why. An adult will have more firmer stance about their identity. Is that why, Steve?
I also have a question about what is
this is so creepy.
What is just being gay?
Just being gay, yeah. It's like you're
the language,
like making their sexuality their whole identity. You know what?
Being gay and being trans are different things, and they're not interchangeable.
Yes, Steve, this is conversion therapy. Yes, as Shash said, you already admitted it's bad. Why is there even a question? I don't get it.
When you throw, I think we're gonna have to have a conversation about what constitutes conversion therapy. I think that'll probably be another day. So what about what he's describing makes it conversion therapy? And I think we can have a little bit bigger of a conversation, but I'll let you give us a brief one here that we can discuss more later. But before that, I just wanted to point out the word just is the problem here. One of the problems here. When you say it's somebody is just gay, it not only implies that being trans is wrong and bad, but also that being gay is not great either. It's just not that bad as being trans. You're creating a set hierarchy of better or worse things to be. So being gay is just the lesser of two evils is a really bizarre way to put that.
Seriously, and Alicia from the live chat raised a very good point. You can't convince me Steve understands gender identity versus sexuality.
Yeah, fair.
He's
I'm not gonna try.
From gender his sentence transitioned, if I might dare say, from gender dysphoria to sexuality, that is being gay. Huh?
Yep.
Well said, Alicia. Yeah, that's a very good observation. And that's why we don't want bigots, we don't want ignorant, arrogant people who think they already know everything to be part of this discussion. We don't want them to get a chair at the table because they're full of shit. Like this. How more transphobic do you have to get, Steve? I know where this is coming from. This is coming from the cast report.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it's coming from.
Yeah.
And that's why I had an issue when they were talking about conversion therapy. I'm like, what does conversion therapy has to do with all this? That's the reason why I was mad about that.
Somebody who presents themselves as an intellectual who follows the data and will change their mind when presented with some relevant information would not come to this conclusion based on the cast report. So, and Feline pointed out as well, the quotations in conversion therapy. This is why I said we're going to have a discussion about what constitutes conversion therapy, because counseling, what counseling would you give somebody to enforce a change in identity?
And tell them that it's related to their sexuality somehow.
Particularly when your language is implying that being trans is wrong and being just gay is okay, but not as okay as being
acceptable. Yeah, we'll let you live with that, Yeah.
You should just be glad with the crumbs we give you, peasant. trans people sometimes come out as gay years, if not decades, before realizing they're trans because of, oh, wait for it, transphobia. Yeah, go fucking figure.
It's, Steve, you're a transphobic piece of shit. You're a Nazi sympathizing transphobic piece of shit. I said it. You should be ashamed of yourself. The non-sequitur show community, the you know, and every other, you know, satellite community around that does not want you. You're not worthy to be part of our community. Fuck off. Fuck right off. That's all and I can see you're desperate for clout.
I don't like
or engagement.
I don't like the implications of what this counseling would involve.
You're right. That's why the conversion therapy is in quotes.
I don't like that I don't like trying to phrase this as if it were counseling and equating. That's a false equivalence to me. The things that you would have to do to enforce a change in of somebody's identity would have to be inherently extreme, and it would not. I don't think would qualify as counseling.
My thing.
There was,
and also
I want to throw one more thing in here just real quick. There was a test that people did, and you think you're going to look it up, where they had twins. And one of the twins, due to complications, had their genitals removed. Or had, like, their penis removed.
Yeah.
They then raised that individual, that twin, as a girl who never identified as a girl.
Give me 5 minutes, I'll be back.
They didn't.
Sorry.
Okay, bye.
It's no. It's my brother. He just messaged me and he gave me a missed call. So I'm just gonna check.
Yeah, go check on your brother.
Yeah, I'll be back, guys. Sorry about this. Yeah, I'll be back.
You're fine. I'm gonna mute her on my end. Anyway, go and look up that report. I recommend checking that out because it is interesting. It was not done with ill intentions. It wasn't like they purposefully manipulated anybody to try and get something. The Reimer twins. Actually, you know what? Why don't I just pull it up real quick? No, I can pull it up. It's fine. So here we go. I've got the wiki. So we'll just look at the wiki real quick while Manya is out. So, David Reimer, born Bruce Peter Reimer in 1965 to 2000, lived until 2004, was a Canadian man raised as a girl following medical advice and intervention after his penis was severely injured during a botched circumcision in infancy. It's almost like we shouldn't be doing circumcision, but, you know. The psychologist John Money oversaw the case and reported the reassignment as successful and as evidence that gender identity is primarily learned. The academic sociologist Milton Diamond later reported that Reimer's realization that he was not a girl occurred between the ages of 9 and 11 years, and that he was living as a male by the age of 15. Well known in medical circles for years anonymously as the John/Joan case, Reimer later went public with his story to help discourage similar medical practices. He killed himself at the age of 38. Wow, it's almost like enforcing gender roles on someone based on their genitals didn't go well and caused the unalivement, and we should stop fucking doing that. Weird. Wacky. Huh. Go fucking figure. And you would think somebody who would be an intellectual would look into these kinds of cases and actually, you know, follow the data and come to conclusions based on the data. I love how John Money proves the trans experience, yet transphobes use it against us. I mean, yeah, they're gonna do that regardless, you know what I mean? They're gonna pick anything, they're gonna misrepresent it, they're gonna cherry pick it. Like, this is literally somebody who they couldn't consent. They were a child. They got gender reassignment surgery when they did not want it. They could not live their life forcibly as the gender that they did not identify as. They told their story and ended up killing themselves. That is the trans experience for a lot of trans people. You'd think we would learn something. No, we can't learn things. Learning is we're too dumb to learn things. Holy fucking shit, dude. Ugh. God. Cringe. Get me out of here, man. So we have one more, but this one's Manya's, so I'm gonna leave this one off to the side. I'm gonna bring this one up instead, because Manya's not here, and I want Manya to be here for her things. Learning is gay. 10 out of 10. And what's that thing that people like to say, that like accusations are confessions, or like people who the people who protest the most about a thing tend to be like that self-hate tends to be in there. Would I reckon that Reimer got counseling from John Money? Probably. Let me did I close it already? Wait, hold on. Did I close it already? Did I get rid of it? I got rid of it already. Fuck. Shit. Hold on. Let me pull this back up again. The psychologist oversaw the case and reported the gender reassignment as successful and as evidence that gender identity is primarily learned. Yeah. That's somebody who should have lost their license. Sounds like it. Let's see. Let's learn about this guy a little bit. July 1921 to 2006, New Zealand American psychologist, sexologist, and professor at Johns Hopkins University, known for his research on human sexual behavior and gender. Believing that gender identity was malleable within the first 2 years of life, Money advocated for the surgical normalization of the genitalia of intersex infants. Great. Money advanced the use of more accurate terminology in sex research, coining the terms gender roles and sexual orientation. Despite widespread popular belief, Money did not coin gender identity. Money pioneered drug treatment for sex offenders to extinguish their sex drives. Man, the 20s all the way through the 60s and 70s were wild for psychology, man. Holy! Oh. God damn it. Since the 1990s, Money's work and research has been subject to significant academic and public scrutiny. A 1997 academic study criticized Money's work in many respects, particularly in regards to the involuntary sex reassignment of the child David Reimer. Money allegedly coerced David and his brother Brian to perform sexual rehearsal with each other, which Money then photographed. Great. David Reimer lived a troubled life, ending with his suicide in a troubled life. Suicide at 38. His brother died of an overdose at age 36. Money believed that transgendered people had an id fixe. An id fixe. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And established the Johns Hopkins Gender Identity Clinic in 1965. He screened adult patients for 2 years prior to granting the medical transition and believed sex roles should be de-stereotyped so that masculine women would be less likely to desire transition. Oh my god. Money is generally viewed as a negative figure by the transgender community. It's almost like this guy was doing like good shit in one end and like really bad shit on the other end. It's like gender roles, figuring out gender roles and sexual orientation back in like the 40s would have been really, really, really fucking hard, right? Like, and like trying to overturn things like, where did it go? Gender roles and sex roles getting de-stereotyped because masculine and women, like, the reason is, like, the idea is there, but the reasoning and the conclusion and the way he went about it were, like, just all wrong. It's not that, no. And, like, this is what I mean when I talk about that science and humans moving forward in life or in society is just brute force. We try shit, it works, or it doesn't. And when it doesn't work, we're like, well, that killed people. Guess we should try something else. I don't know how to pronounce this. Wikipedia does not have an article. This didn't load for me. Let's try this. A preoccupation of the mind believed to be firmly resistant to any attempt to modify it. A fixation. Okay, yeah, a fixed idea. Okay, that's what I thought it was. I don't know how to pronounce it. I wonder if Google will tell me how to pronounce it. Do you guys want to find out? Nope. Why does Google look like this all of a sudden? Oh, well, whatever. Anyway. Yikes. Yikes, dude. Yeah, that reads like a horror movie, where you're like, wow, this psychologist has an idea, and that idea isn't the worst idea. Oh my god, why are they committing murder? Why are they doing crime? What made them think that was a good idea? Alright. Moving on. Watch this. We're gonna move on until Manya comes back, and then we're gonna have to end when Manya gets back. So this is from Right Wing Watch. And it says, Josiah and Isabella Moody explain how trad-wife Christian submission works in practice. So let's hear how this is supposed to work in practice.
I wouldn't have let you walk out until my point was conveyed that you do what you're supposed to do, whatever I tell you to do, because that's your job, is to submit, do it with a smile on your face. I don't care. And I wouldn't have let you leave. I would have, you would have had to eat whatever mean things I would have said, and then the job would have got done. And then afterwards, after the cooling down process, I would have, repented to God and smoothed things over with you for the sinful behavior. That's how things would have went down. I wouldn't.
Oh, who is this child? Who let this sassy child in here? Fucking what, dude? Excuse you?
I wouldn't have let you walk out until my point was conveyed that you do what you're supposed to do, whatever I tell you to do, because that's your job, is to submit, do it with a smile on your face. I don't care. And I would.
I wouldn't let you walk out? I would make you sit there and listen to verbal abuse until I was satisfied, and then you just have to sit there and be like, tee-hee. Hi, Manya. Welcome back.
Unmuted?
You're good.
Yeah, thanks. So, yeah, my brother called, and because of the time zones, he flies during nighttime. And that's day for me, so we keep missing each other. So he gave me a call right now. So I was like, I'm not going to miss that. So
how dare you abandon YouTube for family?
Yeah, how dare I? And he was also excited to see Dr. Proton. So
yeah.
He was like, obviously, he was concerned for me because I got a cat, and we don't deal with cats back home. So yes. He was a little concerned about that, but overall, he was happy. And I was like, I'm not going to miss my brother's call. So
did you hear what this kid said?
I was listening to that while I was talking to my brother. I was just like, what the fuck?
All right. Two things. I finished up the conversation about the twins and that guy that did that shit. Do you have anything you want to say about that, or do you just want to move on to this thing?
Let's move on to this. Because,
okay, then you go. I'll give you a second. It's your turn.
How old is this kid anyways? 20? Holy shit, that sounds like an abusive situation. to me. People have every right to remove themselves from a situation they're not comfortable in, whatever the reasons, and this dude's like, nah. What? Holy shit. And that's why I have problem with this whole like wives submitting to their husbands thing. The autonomy is gone. The respect is gone. There's no equality. Holy shit. He looks very young. He looks very young. Al on Twitch. Dude, Rez instance from the live chat. Dude still has spots and is acting like he has authority. How cute in a horrifying kind of way. So he has been brought up like that, I guess. So that's why. But if it were me, I would be like the audacity, the fucking sheer audacity. Like, it's this is, and Rez instance is right. Kid is gonna end up in prison for domestic abuse, guaranteed. Yeah, if this attitude persists, yep, he will. Wow. Who is he does he have a partner that he's talking about?
Are you asking me? I don't know. I hope not.
Yeah.
I feel like this is fantasy land. I don't think this is real. Like, this seems like real.
Yeah, like, oh my god.
Oh no, this is the partner. Oh, he's talking to his partner.
Oh, and
oh
she
boy.
looks older than him. Is she older than him?
Hold on.
I feel like to young women, unironically, they need to find a man that's very misogynistic. If you at all want to have a guy that's going to
this fucker in the corner just said based.
like make you follow his frame, and you need to find a strong Christian man that's going to put you in your place, or else you're going to dominate the relationship. And when a woman dominates,
oh, I'll dominate your relationship. Wink.
Don't tell me that this chick is not dominating her relationship.
Yeah, she does seem like she's probably dominating the relationship. I'm not gonna lie. This dude.
This is Marjorie Tyrell. This is Marjorie Tyrell with Tommen. Game of Thrones. That's what this is.
She's like just lets him think he's in charge. She's doing that thing.
Marjorie Tyrell with Joffrey Baratheon, actually.
Maybe this is just us.
This is what it looks
coping.
like.
I'm just coping.
Dominates the relationship, it's destined for failure, because I see even how I was different, like in my previous relationship. I was dominating, and I was such a bitch, like such a Jezebel. And, I wasn't always like a good wife or like this great, or even Christian. I used to be atheist, but he has completely transformed who I am and how I act. Because he's such a strong Christian man, and he doesn't let me.
That's what this is what a strong Christian man looks like.
Joffrey Baratheon, everybody, for you.
oh
my
boy.
God.
Get by on things.
I don't know whether to praise her or question her previous relationships, whether she was abusive to her previous partners or not. Like, to make a guy believe, like manipulate a younger person to believe this much that they are in charge when they're not, that's a skill, man. However narcissist or, abusive, it's a skill. Holy shit. Or this dude is stupid. Like, stupid as a fucking clay. Like, what?
Things. He always will nitpick everything because he's literally training me how to be a good Christian wife. You need to be trained. Women are bitches and they need to be trained. So that's my advice. Find a man that will train you.
Teach me, daddy. Punish me, daddy.
Women are female dogs? Is that what it is? And this is a training exercise? I really believe that this all is a stunt. This all is a stunt. To get, like,
you mean a grift?
As much...
It's a grift.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a grift. This is a fucking grift. For some reason, majority of the right-wingers, who are popular YouTubers, they're all grifters. We come to know in the end that they are something very different from what they present themselves as.
We need to talk about this. Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Wasn't there this white supremacist, this really popular one?
Talk about Nick Fuentes.
Watching. Yeah, he got caught watching gay porn or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. That was Nick Fuentes. Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody knew Nick
exactly.
Fuentes was gay. It was just a meme.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They present themselves what they are not, and so if you want to know what exactly they are, just go the opposite way,
Okay.
and you will know.
Pavlov's whore. Say the word and she ring the bell and she gets wet.
Oh no.
You could probably do that to somebody. I mean, you'd have to try to do it in a way that was consensual, and like you could. There might be some ethical questions, but you could probably do that. Okay. So, all right. We need to talk about this. I don't think we're going to talk about it today. We'll talk about it on like a more serious conversation. Maybe we'll have like that time of the month about it because we haven't done one of those in a while. But we really should talk about why so many young men follow this alpha mentality and like how and why they're getting so sucked into it. Because I think the reason is because that like the socioeconomic climate is really, really bad, but also because men don't know what to do or where to go, and these people are giving them bullshit promises. Because they grow up getting told one thing, now they're being told that thing isn't good, but they're not really being presented with a positive, like a strong positive outlet, so because they're young and they're being targeted, right?
Yeah, because they're easy to influence.
And again, it's not about whether or not it's true, it's about how they feel, like how these young men feel about it.
Why they're attracted to such kind of, ideology, if I might dare say. Yeah.
The prison experiment. Yeah. Just want you listen. You want to see some psychology on display that is currently illegal? Go watch Mr. Beast's channel. If he was actually doing science, it would be illegal.
Yep, but
it's for entertainment, and it's on YouTube.
Yeah. Are you not entertained? Are you entertained now?
Fucking gladiator style ass fucking psychology shit. God. It's nuts.
He's at some point he started appearing so fake to me that I'm just like this wholesome persona that he has built. I'm just like, I'm waiting for the day it crashes down. I've made another prediction now. I'm waiting for that persona to come crashing down. And it's coming.
I am just happy that I finally reached an age where I can look at somebody who is an adult and be like, that's a child. That is a kid.
No. It's coming. This whole like his persona, this like over sickly, like wholesome persona that he's trying to create and trying to push. If it can happen to Ellen DeGeneres, it can happen to him.
Oh,
so
yeah, sure.
It's coming. It's coming, baby. It's coming.
All right, we'll do this last video. You mean the two children in this video? Yeah, I don't know. She looks considerably older than he does, but that might be the makeup. All right, anyway, let's hit play. Yeah, he also just might have a little bit of baby face with his little chin strappy little
it's possible. Yeah.
Hold out until marriage. Step number 1.
Did you?
Used to believe it.
Yes, sir. Let's go. I was a virgin until marriage. I made it, bro. I'm an anomaly.
Congratulations. Okay, all right, keep going. Yeah.
I would say wait until marriage, and the man has to be the one who's committed, because so many times I see women who are Christians who are like, oh no, I'm waiting until marriage, I don't want to have sex, and the guy's just sitting there like a dog waiting for his owner to say go ahead and eat, and as soon as that woman lets her guard down, he's ready to go and do it. And what that tells you is that you're already starting off the relationship as the submissive one, because she's
so men are predators.
I love when men are just treated as if they have zero autonomy whatsoever and are literally walking penises. Woo! Hilarious.
Child, this is just a grift. This is a fucking grift.
He's just copying. He's a discount. He's a discount grift. He's not even like the full Monty.
I'm not going to be surprised if I can see like people giving money, $100, $65, $70, like at the bottom. I don't know if that's what's happening actually. That's the amount they're getting in actuality, but I bet you everything's going to the girl. she has all the finances.
Okay, well, all right. If we want to analyze that a little bit, we can analyze that a little bit. First off, look at her hair. Look at her makeup routine. Look at her clothing. Look at what he's wearing in comparison. Where's the money going?
I just said it. I just said it. I just said
No,
it.
I know you're
Marjorie
right. I'm just
Tyrell.
explaining how people can analyze that for themselves.
Marjorie Tyrell and Joffrey Baratheon, everyone.
That's the leader, ultimately. She's telling you, and if you're
Look at
gonna
him sitting
hold out
like
until
this
she
and
says
explaining
yes, well,
everything.
she's the one in charge. So I think that
You're implying that men should rape women, by the way. That, like,
Yeah,
if a
like,
woman
be
says no
predators.
to sex, then she's controlling you. And because men are only controlled by their sexual desire, right? Right? Money says this guy doesn't believe in marital rape. Bet you money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
And like seriously, I would like to see Marjorie Tyrell here like demonstrate how it's done when a guy is coming on you like, oh yeah, I'm the alpha male, you listen to me and submit to me, and she just turns it around, makes it sound like his idea that nah, we are not doing it today.
Oh yeah. He can't even afford a decent razor.
that's very important is that you are committed to waiting, and yeah, I mean, tease her and get her to want it, and then be like, nah, bitch, we gotta get married. and
So they're already fornicating in a way. Okay. They're already in a way.
Yes,
I refuse
Rez,
to
what would
believe
you
that
like,
they-
Darling? Rewrite 20 seconds.
20 seconds, dude, that's a lot of torture to take in again.
This should be fine.
And focus on her
Oh, there.
only. Yeah, I see what you
she's
mean.
telling you, and if you're gonna hold out until she says yes, well, she's the one in charge. So I think that's very important is that you
A little
are
smirk.
committed to waiting, and
Like, yeah, boy, you think
yeah, I
you're
mean,
in
tease
charge.
her and get her to want it, and then be like, nah, bitch, we gotta get married. and I think that's the move.
The hair.
So that would be my first advice is just have a
Can we guess what she is thinking? Chat, what do you think she's...
I would say she's thinking, yeah, boy, keep thinking you're in charge. Yeah, boy, keep thinking you're in charge. That's what she is, in my opinion.
I get the idea that she's just like...
Lolly thinks it's his idea.
I think that she's thinking that she's just like, no, we're gonna bear with this. We're just gonna wait this out. She is somebody who had prior relationships as well. Yeah, I think she's grifting. I think she knows that she's grifting, and she's just like, yeah, let him say whatever he wants. I know I'm the one who gets the coin at the end of the day. I'm the one living the life that I want to live.
Betting, yeah, that everything's going to her because she's like, yeah, so I'm the traditional wife, so I should be allowed to deal with the finances to run the home. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
The first time you try to really try to dominate, I'll divorce you and take everything. LOL.
This poor guy. Holy shit. I'd say, it's possible that they both know each other quite well, and they know that each one of them is a bitch who's gonna turn on the other.
She's
So
the
they keep an eye on
trad
each
wife. She's the trad wife, traditional wife influencer, right? So she's the one making all the money. So it's not even like his money in the grift. He has a dog on a leash that she is parading around to like these right wing grift like YouTubers, letting all of them think that he's like in charge and letting him play this game so she can just rake it in. She is a literal girl boss, and you love that for her. Yeah, absolutely. She is absolutely playing
that fucking coin.
But the problem here is he believes it. He thinks it's real.
He's Joffrey Baratheon or Tommen, Lannister, whatever you want to do with that. Or Tom and Baratheon, I think so. Yeah, Tom and Baratheon. Yeah. Take your pick. I would say Joffrey Baratheon.
Yeah, you saw that smug little smile, right? The one that I clocked?
Yeah, she was like... Yeah,
look at her. She just... Watch her. You know what? Just watch her.
Hold out until marriage. Step number 1.
Glance up and down.
Did not have sex with
Did
her.
you?
Yes, sir. Let's go. I was a virgin until marriage. I made it, bro. I'm an anomaly.
She's like, I didn't want to have sex with you. that's her face right now. That her face right now is, yeah, if I wanted to have sex with you, we would have had sex.
Congratulations.
Yeah. She look at her eyebrow tweak. Keep
going, yeah.
I would say wait until marriage, and the man specifically, the man has to be the one who's committed, because so many times I see women who are Christians who are like, oh no, I'm waiting.
She's not even nodding along with him. She is waiting for him to finish and making sure he doesn't fuck up what he says.
Yep.
Until marriage, I don't want to have sex, and the guy's just sitting there like a dog waiting for his owner to say, go ahead and eat.
See
and
how
as soon
he
as
goes
that
like
woman
that
lets
when
her
he
guard
says
down,
that, like
he's ready
a
to go
dog?
and do it. And what that tells you.
Yeah, his body language is all. She is super relaxed. He is super relaxed. She is center frame, and he is squished into the side.
Yeah.
I wonder.
He's very nervous, and he's very nervous.
He is like rocking around when he's talking. He's like projecting this, like,
a
oh yeah, I'm special. I'm an anomaly. And when he has that outburst, he immediately goes back to this.
Yeah.
Now I want to double check something. When he does that, where is that? Right here. What?
Bro, let's go. I was a virgin until marriage. I made it, bro. I'm an anomaly.
He looks at her. She is not impressed, and he immediately closes back in for the next bit. Yep. Busted,
Like,
dude.
She's telling you, and if you're gonna hold out until she says yes, well, she's the one in charge. So I think that's very important, is that you are committed to waiting, and
she's just waiting for him to be done.
tease her and get her to want it, and then be like, nah, bitch, we gotta get married.
Look at that face. Tease her and make her want it, but then you gotta be, and she's just like, yeah,
I bet you she's the one teasing him at this moment and telling, nah, we have to get married first, but we can't get married yet. That's what's happening. It's the other way around. She's making him think it's his idea.
Yeah, and he's making this up. This is a fantasy.
And I think that's the move. So that would be my first advice, is just have a good willpower and good sexual discipline.
Sure.
Second would be to never pull out, wear a condom, and get her off birth control. All three of those things are extremely homosexual. So if
what? Huh? Birth control is homosexual, guys. Guys, is it gay to be on birth control?
Or is he saying that having sex with someone on birth control is homosexual?
Hey, listen, I want to slap you in the face with this left hook here. Pop. Guys, is having sex with a woman gay?
So ridiculous. Yeah, it's like that fucking Tyron or more, like the Fresh and Fit. They were like, women's in sex, like when you are having sex, women's satisfaction is not required. If you are focusing on a woman's satisfaction, you are a gay person. And I'm just like, what? It's become so ridiculous.
That's a meme.
Yeah.
Hawk Skull got me. Guys, is coming on her tits gay? Oh my god, it's on my boobs, it's so gay. I thought all this time when we were having sex that you were straight, and then you came on my boobs, and now I know you're gay.
Hold on a minute. Then is teasing homosexual?
I don't know.
And the fact that he might have asked for a teasing session, and she said, no, you're a man of God. If you do that, that's gay.
If you do that, that's gay.
It would be to never pull out, wear a condom, and get her off birth
I'm so
control.
sorry, this is ridiculous.
Guys, the never pull out, that's gay.
Birth control. All three of those things are extremely
Yeah,
homosexual. So if
Did you see the way he did 3?
Stay stuck forever.
He is gay.
You're 60 years old.
No, he's gay.
Rotting.
He is gay.
Oh yeah.
Look at the way he did 3. That's gay.
So I know exactly what's going on. So let me just explain.
Go ahead, Mania.
She
You
said,
explain.
You're a man of God. You're a man, and I got this idea from who is it? Is this in the live chat? Someone said it, so I will. Yeah, April, you can only have sex for procreation. So she is like, you're a man of God. If you're gonna have sex, we're gonna have it to babies. But I'm not gonna have any bastards. So before that, we have to first get married. And because we are not married yet, we ain't having any sex, baby.
Listen, no. This idea of what he's describing is like, this was what makes it gay, therefore nothing, like, it's implying that other things don't make it gay, right? So, like, having homosexual urges, not enjoying the sex you're having with your female partner, other things that would probably entail being gay. He just listed 3 things, called them gay, and none of those 3 things make you gay. None of them. Not a single one of those things make you gay. In fact, all of them involve having sex with a woman. So he's gay. This dude is gay. That's why this woman is getting everything that she fucking wants. She doesn't want to have sex with him. Which is great, because he doesn't want to have sex with her either. It's just... Not really. He projects it, he makes it up, he does this whole performing thing, all while looking for her approval, because she's the one in charge of what's happening right now.
She's the mommy. She's the parent in this relationship. Here we go, buddy.
Listen, this is discount Nick Fuentes. He's gonna get busted looking at, like, gay porn or something, or he's gonna get caught having sex if he's popular enough, or she's popular enough, and she's just gonna be like, oh, I didn't know all this time, give me all of this money and I have an excuse to be divorced now.
Sympathy. He's not a man of God. I need a man of God.
And she's gonna laugh all the way to the bank, and you know what? I kinda respect the hustle.
I do. I actually do. I'm just like, girl, get that coin.
This dude, what? No. You want a fan fiction? You want a lemon party? Nick Fuentes and this guy are gonna get caught having sex together at a Trump convention in a bathroom.
Oh, that's risque now. Ooh.
Fanfic writers, get on it.
Go for it. Oh my God.
Called it, bookmarked it. Pin that one.
Oh my God.
Look at nobody knows. I have never seen a straight person, when they said 3, do this. Never.
Like,
not even once.
Never pull out.
I've seen backwards. I've seen people do it, but straight people do it backwards once in a blue moon if they're doing something else. But this is 3. This is 3 for straight people. Mm-hmm. This is not 3.
Or this.
This is weeb. This is some weeb shit.
No, Germans used to do that. Like,
yeah, but these people are American. Look at that flag. These are Americans. Yeah. This is some weeb shit.
Okay, I get you.
It could be the okay dog whistle, but I don't think it is. Like, he's the way he's doing this, he's not saying okay, he's indicating, like,
is he asking for help?
I don't think he's doing that like, oh, turn the okay sign into, like, some Nazi shit. I'm pretty sure he's just gay. He might be doing that also, but look at that wrist flick.
That's very telling. Listen, we have been right about a lot. Remember Matt Walsh? We were right about that. We have been right about that.
You mean Steven Crowder?
Steven Crowder, sorry, my bad.
Yes.
Sorry, Matt Walsh. Sorry, my bad.
I am calling it. That's my analysis. That's what I think. That's my opinion. I will not be taking notes or questions.
I digress.
I take no criticism.
This is all allegedly.
No straight person says 3.
They're extremely homosexual, so if you wear a condom or you pull out, you're pretty much a
not regular homosexual. Having sex with women is extremely homosexual under this context.
Don't protect yourself from any, STDs. Nah, that's gay.
He's looking looking for approval from men.
homosexual, so if you wear a condom or you pull out, you're pretty much a faggot. And
so true.
Based, bro. Based.
Child, my sweet summer child. Best of luck. Best of luck. I will see you next year when you are alone and single, and this woman has ran away with all the money she made with this grift.
He's gonna get caught having sex with Nick Fuentes, and he's gonna get abandoned. All right, Josiah David Moody is this guy's name. So if anybody wants to go look into that more, that's where you're gonna find it.
Why is it always a Josiah?
Josiah, very Christian name. Sounds like Christian talk. This is very Christian. Sounds right. I miss Paul and Morgan from Paul and Morgan show. Paul, come back.
Instead of talking about their own virtues that they're supposed to have as a godly husband, yeah, of course they're gonna talk about what acts are supposed to be homosexual. Yeah, here we go.
Michael is on the same train as I am right now. I don't think there's enough alcohol in the world for me to deal with that.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
All right, that's it for today. I know Manya had one other, but we're gonna save it for next time, I think, because we're getting the 2-hour mark.
Okay. Yeah, that's
fine.
My 60,000 page dossier.
If you guys, oh god, if you guys want to see more of Dr. Proton, Manya's new kitten, who is 10 years old, go follow her channel. It is linked down below, or it's linked on the channel page. Make sure to like and subscribe. We've been live on Twitch, but also we've been live on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. We will be live tomorrow. We'll be live tomorrow. Unnamed Tavern with Landon and Dapper talking dumb politics shit. And I assure you, I've already been working on the list of what we're talking about. It's gonna be dumb. It's gonna be dumb.
Also, you can join Chesh's Discord if you want to for $1, less than $1. If you want to have access to Dr. Proton's pictures. I put more in there than on my channel.
American, $1.50 if you want to join us.
Oh, okay, understood. Yeah.
American, $1.50 American.
One more Dr. Proton. Join the Discord.
$1.50. All right, we're gonna get the hell out of here. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been a lot of fun. We are going to get the hell out of Dodge. Have a good weekend, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Hello.
Welcome back to Don't Affect Friday. Don't Affect Friday. Don't Affect Friday. Don't Affect Friday.
It's going to be fun.